9/11 is first and foremost a personal tragedy for the victims, the families and friends and colleagues. It's also an event that changed the world. This includes changing aspects of education here in the UK. The current prevent duty in schools can be traced to Contest, the counter-terrorism strategy drafted as a response to 9/11. Concerns about extremism also lie behind the requirement of schools to promote fundamental British values. It's fair to say these initiatives have not been universally popular with teachers, and our recent research, funded by Since 9/11 on extremism in the classroom, echoes this. However, the concern of teachers is largely with the labelling of these key values as British. Teachers are generally supportive of the values themselves, and indeed the values of liberty, freedom of speech, respect for difference are the values that underline all liberal societies. And these values are crucial. Terrorist attacks cause personal devastation, but they are also seen as attacks on these very freedoms and values. Acts of extremist violence of all kinds, by definition, are linked to extremist ideologies. And those ideologies, though radically different, are united by a common theme, a hatred of difference. From white supremacy in the far right to extreme Islamist ideologies to the growing incel movement. People who commit these violent acts and support these ideas reject difference. They reject the rights of individuals to live their own lives, pursue their own dreams, regardless of religion, ethnicity, gender, or sexuality. These people want to violently impose their beliefs, their vision upon the world, upon others. These ideologies need to be challenged. Liberal values and freedoms can only be achieved if enough people in society hold to these ideals. And this is where education has a vital role. The rights and freedoms we enjoy did not come automatically. They were hard fought, both in word and deed. The principles of equality, human rights and freedom were won with rational argument and collective action. But these arguments need to be constantly remade, as there are many voices, particularly online, that seek to undermine these freedoms by presenting lies, twisted conspiracies, and hatred of others. So how can schools engage with these issues? Well, you do not make people tolerant simply by telling them to be tolerant or telling them to write down in their books that democracy is the truth. An understanding of the importance of these values is achieved through discussion and argument. For example, by exploring contemporary or historical controversies, teachers, and more importantly, students, can challenge hateful ideas and argue why they're wrong. Also, by having honest discussions on genuinely open issues, students learn how to discuss respectfully, to respectfully disagree, and to understand that not everyone thinks the same way as them. Schools do have these conversations. However, our recent research argues that more is needed. And what is the alternative? What if schools completely avoid these areas entirely? Well, there's plenty of debate and opinion on contemporary issues to be found online. But here we have a problem. The recent report by New York University and the University of Grenoble shows that the disinformation and misleading Facebook posts were 6 times more likely to be shared than true ones. And this research only confirms earlier findings on Twitter elsewhere. Young people increasingly gain their news and understanding of the world on social media, and this is troubling. There is a crisis of disinformation. Extremists use this space to prey upon people's fears. Conspiracy theories, falsehoods are used to spread hate and fear and fuel extremist beliefs. It is vital that schools play a role in combating misinformation and disinformation, in challenging misconceptions and encouraging reason to triumph over lies. To do this effectively, schools need to teach knowledge, yes, critical thinking, yes, media literacy, yes, but also have the sorts of contemporary and controversial discussions where these misconceptions can surface and be challenged. Our research shows that teachers do this to some extent, but more support is needed, more curriculum time, more resources to empower teachers to have these sometimes difficult discussions. I want to end by saying that education alone is not a panacea. And there is a lot of room for optimism. The young people I meet are intelligent, understanding, and very respectful of difference. But schools do and must continue to play a vital role in challenging extremist ideas. In this way, the seeds of freedom can be passed to the next generation to nurture and grow.